Welcome to IELTS listening, note-taking, and multiple choice. In this video, I'll go over what to expect in IELTS listening test, timing, band score calculation, question types, specifically note-taking and multiple choice, and techniques. And also we'll do a practice. I've noticed that note-taking and multiple choice is the most common types of questions that come up in IELTS listening. So I decided to make this video to help prepare you for these most common types. Quick review of the format of the IELTS listening test. In section 1, you have 2 speakers, a social situation. Section 2, 1 speaker, general topic. Section 3, 4 speakers, an academic discussion. And section 4, 1 speaker, a lecture. Today, however, we're focusing on section 1, where you have 2 speakers, a social situation. The timing for IELTS listening, 40 questions, 30 minutes in the computer-based test, 40 minutes in the paper-based test. Why? Because in the paper-based test, you have those extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Regarding band scores, academic and general listening are exactly the same in terms of how your marks are calculated. In the listening part, there are 40 questions. You receive 1 mark for each correct answer. Your score out of 40 is converted to the 9-band scale. So if we look at that conversion, we can see to get band score 7 and above, you should be getting at least 30 answers correct out of 40. And to get band score 8, 35 questions must be answered correctly. So I'm sure that you're aiming for band score 7 and above, so you can afford to get 10 questions wrong. That means you need to have a pretty strong comprehension level. That means understanding different speeds and different accents quite well. Types of questions that come up: completing a form, note, or summary. That's what we'll work on today. Flowchart or table, short answer questions, sentence completion, labeling a map plan or diagram, matching, and multiple choice, which we will also focus on today. Top 10 listening skills that you need: understanding contexts, identifying speakers, identifying categories, especially with a chart, recognizing paraphrase. That's when something is said in a different way, but the meaning is exactly the same. Identifying distractors. Distractors are answers that are wrong, but are supposed to distract you from the real answer. Understanding position, directions in a map, position and movement in a process. Understanding a person's opinion, suggestions, and decision. Identifying the main idea and details of a lecture, that's specifically for section 4, and understanding numbers and letters. This often comes up in section 1, the first part of listening. Today, we're focusing on paraphrase, identifying distractors, and also numbers and letters. Why? Because these 3 skills are very, very important for IELTS listening. You need to be ready to master these skills so that you can do well in the test. Regarding context, you are actually given the context of the listening part at the very beginning of the audio. So in all the IELTS sections, you'll hear an introduction before the listening starts, and you will learn the context from this introduction. So for example, you will hear 2 people speaking about a trip. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5. Now, after the introduction of the listening, you will have a short time to read the questions. This time is absolutely precious, so make sure that you read and study the questions during this short break. As usual, I take a very question-focused technique. That means always focus on the questions. Know exactly what you're being asked so that you can definitely get the correct answer. Now it's time to practice. This is a typical note-taking, listening exercise from the IELTS exam. Section 1. You will hear a tourist talking to a London tour company in order to organize a tour of the popular sites of London. Questions 1 to 5. Use no more than 3 words or letters. And if you look at that instruction, make sure that you follow this instruction. Absolutely do not write more than 3 words or letters, because if you do, you will lose the marks. We're going to examine the exercise because we have a little bit of time before the audio begins. So customer details, they will be coming to London on blank. So what's missing here? The preposition on indicates that it must be a date that is missing, specific date. It's not a place because the preposition is not at or in, it's on. It's obviously a date or day. Next one, he's going with his sister and his. This refers to his sister and his, so it's probably another person or family member that is missing. Tour details, bus tour. The cost is blank pounds for adults and blank pounds for children. So 3 and 4 are obviously amounts or prices in British pounds that is missing. And number 5, tours start at 7 a.m. and finish at. The preposition means that it's also a time that is missing. So we're looking for a time. Therefore, in a note-taking exercise, you're looking for the word that is missing. You need to know the word type. Is it a noun? Is it a date? Is it a number? Is it a time? Now let's listen, and as you listen, try to find the word that is missing.
Section 1.
Hi, London Premier Tours. How can I help?
Hi, I'm coming to London with my family and we would like to see the city. We just wanted some information on the best way to do this.
Okay, I'll see if I can help. Firstly, when are you coming and for how long?
Let me see. We are leaving the US at the end of June. We are going to stay with friends in Oxford for a week, so we will arrive in London around the 10th of July. It will just be for a few days as we fly to Paris on the 13th of July.
And how many people?
I'm coming with my sister and our parents.
And do you know what kind of things you want to see when you are here? Is there anything in particular?
Not really. We just want to see the main sights. You know, historical places, I guess. The places that London is famous for.
Well, as you only have a short amount of time, the best way to do that is probably through a bus tour. The tour costs £29 for adults and £14 for children for the day.
What time does it start?
Well, basically, the ticket is valid for the whole day. The first bus is at 7 a.m., but buses depart every 20 minutes throughout the day up until 4 p.m. Sorry, I mean 6 p.m. It's summer now, so the buses run later. So you can start and finish whenever you want during those times.
So do you have to stay on the Penier bus the whole time?
No, it is a hop-on, hop-off service. So you can get off at whichever stop you like. You can then stay there as long as you like and then get back on another bus when it arrives.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. What sights do you see on the tour then?
So how did you get on with the exercise? Could you find the answers? Let's review them. So customer details, they will be coming to London on the 10th of July. He's going with his sister and his parents. The cost is £29 for the bus tour and £14 for the children. The tours start at 7 a.m. and finish at 6 p.m. 14 can sound similar to 40, so make sure that you practice your understanding of the een and the e sound in English. Towards the end of the listening, the female speaker, the woman, suddenly changes her mind. Instead of saying 4 o'clock p.m., she says 6 p.m. As you can see, it's very important for section 1 to really practice the dates, letters, and numbers. Make sure that you review them before you do the listening. Sometimes letters can sound similar in English, like E and I and A. Review all of your numbers for dates, times, and figures also before doing the test. So 14 and 40, those sounds are very similar. 17 and 70. The other point is that in IELTS listening section 1 especially, the speaker sometimes changes his or her mind. So she'll give a specific number or date or amount, and then she'll change it. So be ready for those sudden changes. Make sure that you're catching the correct figure. We're going to move on now to multiple choice. Questions 9 to 10. Choose the correct letter A, B, or C. 9. How will the tourist buy the tickets? A, by phone, B, online, C, on the bus. And number 10, how long before he leaves should he buy the tickets? A, 1 week, B, 6 weeks, C, 3 months. We have a little bit of time before the audio begins. Let's examine the questions. First, number 1, identify the keywords in the questions. So in this case, our keywords are how and tickets. How, tickets. We need to know the technique or the method the tourist uses to buy the tickets. Number 10, how long, leaves, meaning how much time does the tourist have to get the tickets before he leaves, That's the specific question. So not how long will it take him to buy the tickets or how long is his holiday, but how long to buy the tickets before he departs. Number 2, highlight the keywords in the answers. In this case, all of the words are the keywords because it's very short. Phone, online, on the bus. Technique number 3, listen out for those words or their synonyms during the audio. We'll apply this technique to every multiple choice question that we do. Now it's time to listen.
What do we have to do about booking?
If you want to book, you can do that with one of our customer service operators on the phone, or otherwise you can go to our website and book. Some people just arrive on the day and buy a ticket on the bus, but if it's full, you may not be able to get a seat.
Probably best if we book in advance then. So I will do it on the internet in a few weeks when we know exactly what dates we will be there.
Okay, well, it can get very busy in the summer over the 3 months of June to August, so it's probably best to book at least a week before you come. But you still have about 6 weeks before you leave, so you have plenty of time to think about it.
Okay, thanks. You have been a great help.
How did you get on? Let's take a look at the answers. So the tourist will buy the tickets online. The tourist has only 1 week before he departs in order to buy his tickets. There are distractors in these answers. Distractors are answers that include words that sound similar to the correct answer or that appear in the audio that may distract you. In number 9, C, on the bus, is a distractor because we hear the word bus during the audio. We hear the lady talking about it, but it's not the answer. And in number 10, 6 weeks and 3 months are also distractors because we hear these terms, but they are not the answer to the question. Okay, well, it can get very busy in the summer over the 3 months of June to August, so it's probably best to book at least a week before you come. But you still have about 6 weeks before you leave. Recognizing paraphrase. As I said earlier, this skill to understand synonyms and paraphrase It's very, very important in IELTS listening. You need to know the synonyms or learn them to recognize them. In IELTS listening, ideas are often repeated and paraphrased, so listen out for those other words. So, for example, in question 9, how will the tourist buy the tickets? By phone, online, or on the bus? Now, answer B is the correct paraphrase because the man refers to on the internet. Listen again.
So I will do it on the internet in a few weeks when we know exactly what dates we will be there.
Answer B is the correct paraphrase. So he says on the internet means online. That's an expression with exactly the same meaning as online. A and C are distractors because we do hear a reference to the phone and the bus, but it's not his decision to buy in that way. Regarding accent, practice listening to different types of accents, male and female, boys and girls. 80% of the accents in IELTS listening are British and Australian. Only 20% are North American, including Canadian. So obviously it makes more sense to listen more to the British and Australian sound. To check out accents and intonation, take a look at this link on bbc.co.uk. That will help you with accents, and also TED or TED Ed websites. They could also help you. That's it for today on note taking and multiple choice for IELTS listening. Good luck in your exam and see you in our next video. Thanks everyone. Bye.